All right, welcome back after the break, everybody. We've got eSuba versus Playing Ducks coming up right next, and that's going to be an amazing
Right
matchup.
next. Sure. Yeah, sure. It definitely is. I didn't realize that I was going to be thrown into the deep end on this one, but we have to start with you for some predictions. As the host, you're definitely not immune. What do you think is going to happen in this second matchup? Because you sung the praise of the underdog in that previous matchup. I said that Planet Key would take it. I didn't actually say a scoreline, but if I did say a scoreline, I'd have been pretty damn close, I think. What do you think is going to happen here? Are you going to play Davis Advocate again?
I was close with the second half, like when I said that they're not really going to get much on that second half. Okay, the first one was quite close though, so it wasn't so obvious, I think. But yeah, I hate, the thing is, I hate calling scores or predicting stuff, and I always say that whenever anybody asks me, just so you know, just for the record. But I always do it because everybody wants
that was like a preliminary. Don't go there. I'm not going to give you a scoreline.
I'm gonna say we don't know the map yet. It would be much easier with the map, but I want to say something along the lines of 16-11 in favor of Playing Ducks, I'd say.
Yeah,
I'm definitely going to bet on Playing Ducks. You probably wanted an accurate scoreline. I'm going to say 16-11. But a map pick can change everything in terms of the number of the rounds that's actually going to land on the eSuba side.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. The number of rounds a team take can be dependent on map, but mostly dependent by the knife round as well, which is almost completely random. In a situation like this, you can't say, oh yeah, this team are better with knives, so they're going to win the knife. It's not like that. I think the Playing Ducks, they definitely rely a lot on their individual skill. eSuba, more of a regimented team, I would say. However, eSuba I think they've had a couple of changes recently. That might be wrong. In fact, I do think I got that one wrong.
Maybe not so recently, but Oko joined the lineup.
Yeah. So
Who's missing? Benki is missing. So yeah.
But no. The point that I was actually getting to was this Playing Ducks lineup. It's actually quite a new lineup. However, if we talk about it just on like raw skill, I think that they're really strong. I think that they're probably gonna not surprise today because I don't think anybody's devaluing them or undervaluing them, so to say. However, I think that they're probably gonna come out trumps in this initial matchup. Oh, look at that trophy! Look at that shield there. That's beautiful, isn't it?
And right at the end of the day, very late into the evening, one of the teams is going to be able to lift it up and take it home for themselves. But yeah, what you're pointing out right here, you wanted most of for the most part, you wanted to touch on how Playing Ducks are new. But yeah, that's true. eSuba, they had their changes. Blue and Arco are not such veterans in the lineup. Hey, it was Monty and Benki that were replaced, actually. They're not in here anymore, but it was already a while back. So it's not like they're completely fresh.
Yeah, and I think that's something that we have to be talking about when we are looking at eSuba is they're one of the only teams here, and I think the only team who can actually viably run a double up setup. And that means that they've got quite a wide range map pool. They've got quite a wide map pool. They can play Overpass, Cobblestone. They can play a very wide variety of maps, even maps like Inferno. They can be pretty strong on. I'm not saying that they're going to pick those today. However, they definitely have the potential for that mix-up factor due to having Capazzo on that AWP and Freddy definitely can back him up. When your economy is rolling, I think that's something that I've seen. Who is it? I think it might be Astralis. As soon as Astralis lose one round, yeah, they take that pause, but then they will switch something up quite massively. They'll either go to a double AWP setup, they'll change something up just to mix up the flavor of the game, and that is definitely something that eSuba today can do. As soon as they lose a round, yeah, they can go to that double AWP setup.
Yeah, there definitely is a possibility of that happening, and I don't imagine that they won't go for the double op setup, regardless if it is after a pause or after them losing something or just deciding that they fancy it at some point in the game. I think it's going to happen at some point, for sure. Because most of the time, like throughout the eSuba's matches, I think like for the 90% of them, they played with a double op setup. So I'm quite sure and familiar with it. And right now on your screens, Playing Ducks setting themselves up Quite a bunch of nice guys right there, and definitely just before the match starts, Nikita is also going to lead you through the lineups in an interview. So for me, it's a big part of this LAN final, like getting to know these players a little bit, and the post-game interviews also. They give you a little bit of insight of how particular players think, and like you get to know many of them, because I feel like in these interviews on paper, on HLTV for instance and stuff like that, it's most of the time
Personality doesn't come across, does it?
It doesn't so much like through paper, or like it isn't paper, but through the internet without them using their voice. And also at the same time, for the most part, it's mostly one person that does it.
You know what I want to see?
We're going to grab different people for our interviews. So.
You know what I want to see? I want to see some trash talk. This is the sort of event where I could see some trash talk coming into play. I want to see playing ducks on the stage, giving it some yibba yabba, jibber jabber, and really shutting eSuba down before the game even starts. Or maybe actually eSuba, to the contrary, they could definitely talk to playing ducks and really give it a bit of mouth, since playing ducks being those individually skilled players, those individual powerhouses that they are, can definitely get in your head before the game starts if a little bit of trash talk's thrown around.
Yeah, and what I can say is I'm not expecting any trash talk like naturally. Maybe just for the sake of it, maybe just for fun. But it's hard for me to imagine, because it's the third LAN finals that we're organizing right here with the Legend series, with ELC Gaming, and I've never seen not even a team, but even a single person that doesn't get along with all the other people right here. Most of the time it's just such
It's pretty friendly, isn't it?
It's so friendly, yeah, that's hard to imagine the trash talk, unfortunately, you know, because I also quite like it, like when there's a little bit of spice behind all these matches.
I've obviously spent too long at LAN in the UK, since there's so much trash talk. It's brilliant. It's so funny. Some of the things that I've read them type to each other in an actual chat is, it would blow your mind. It would make your head spin. Some really rude stuff. Okay. Not stuff that I can mention on this stream, certainly.
Okay, so no point in waiting, I guess. Then. But yeah, I also know I know quite a bit of people from the UK scene in Counter-Strike and League of Legends and Overwatch. I know them from all the different games, and yeah, I also heard it that it's not so unlikely that on a UK event things will be taken outside.
Yeah, things will be taken into the parking lot, so to say. Yeah. UK LANs can definitely get heated. However, we're not at a UK LAN. We're in Hamburg in the grand finals. Look at this place. It's a beautiful place, isn't it? And we've got a great best of one coming up, not best of three.
I mean, it's better not get too serious, because you can see what we have behind ourselves. So if any of the players put their hands on it, it's going to be quite bad, I guess. But yeah, that's not happening. Anyway, yeah, the stage is amazing. And every single time I come here, I always can't wait to come back here. That's the first part. But the second part is whenever I come back here, it just changes so much. Every single time, some new sponsors get added, some new accessories just show up all over the place, because the first time when we had the finals of the Counter-Strike Legend Series, yeah, that's the thing. When the Counter-Strike Legend Series #1.
Just drinking my delicious Mountain Dew. It's delicious stuff.
Quite raw. It was just pretty much finished. We are still setting everything up right here. Then we get the League of Legends Legend Series, and now we have some like League of Legends mascots over the bar, and Mountain Dew partnered up with us, so that showed up on the truck too, and everything like just got improved. We finally showed up right here, because last time we were in a green screen studio. So we weren't like in front of the crowd. Right now we're with everybody, so that's improved. Now coming into the CSGO, we have this wall behind us, another sponsor joining us in, Challenge Me, very committing themselves into it. So I love it. And yeah, we have these guns. I mean, I've been playing with the Nerf ones, not the ones looking more real.
Not the ones that are probably illegal. I don't know how gun laws are in Germany, but probably not too lax. Oh, they're airsoft guns, are they? This isn't actually a real pistol. Either way, we are going to get into our next best of one pretty shortly, and I think that we do have to touch up on a couple of finishing things. Who are you looking for in playing ducks? I spoke to Hype this morning. Him and Snods. who's probably watching at home, were throwing a bit of trash talk back and forth to each other, and he seemed really, really hyped. I asked him this morning if he was going to win. He said, of course. However, he did say that Planet Key would be their biggest opposition here today.
Okay, I can see where he's going with that, but definitely all the other teams will not be giving up so easily. So we're going to get to see the lineup of Playing Dogs, and then I'm going to tell you who I'm looking forward to seeing, or maybe not, because I always indirectly answer as if you haven't noticed yet.
Sure thing. Well, here's a lineup here today. We've got Hype, who isn't quite leading up the team, but definitely leading them in terms of personality from what I've seen. He's the only one that I've spoken to, though. Kalinka is our second player today. And who are our other three players?
Oh, because you can't pronounce the nickname.
No, it definitely isn't that. I'll do it. I'll do it. It's Luck J, Nuck, and Pound.
I would say it's pretty far from the originals, but I also would say that I'm not going to do it much better. But yeah, right after this match, we're going straight to the players to ask them how the pronunciation works right here on the Lithuanian.
You just dipped me straight in that, didn't you? You were like, oh yeah, he's English. He can't pronounce European names. Straight in there.
Yeah, but man, I live much closer to them. My language works much more alike than yours with Lithuanian, but I have no clue, man. Anyway, though, Hype and Nucky are the more fresh additions to the team, right? So that they replace two people on the lineup, but Poon, Kalinka, and Lucky, or Luckj, or however we want to say that.
I just got to call him Luck, mate.
They've been playing with this lineup for quite a bit of time, and I'm looking to up to one of them. Not sure who it's going to be for today, actually, but throughout my casting career, when I've been commentating the matches of Playing Dogs, it's been changing all the time. Sometimes he was able to step up, sometimes the other guy, but there we go. The lineup for eSuba, and now Czech Republic and Slovakia with Poland. We're like brothers. Our languages are nearly the same, so I'm not going to have any problems with pronouncing these nicknames.
Sure, go ahead then.
Yeah, that's gonna be Blue. Oh man, come on, that's such a Czech nickname. Freddy, Caparzo, Henky, G, and Akko. But yeah, we're still saying with the English accent, so it doesn't sound nearly as close to the original.
So out of this lineup that we've got on the screen now, who do you reckon are the one or two players to really be watching out for on the eSuba side?
As I said, when Cappy goes on fire, it's real hard to stop him. But that's the thing. He has to have the right day. Is this one the day, actually? I don't know. But when he performs, I know that he's going to be able to just completely sweep the Playing Dogs. And
I think that is a dynamic. I think that is a dynamic of an AWPer as well. Obviously, he's the primary AWPer, and if we get on a map where that AWPer can get rolling, I think Cup is the sort of player who definitely can ride the wave off the back of that.
And the other, I'm not going to say like statistically or backed up by any kind of history, but I want to see the newer guys perform. One of them, Blue or Akko. I'm going to go for this one.
Yeah, I definitely like to see a closer matchup here. I don't quite know what the map's going to be yet, and they are still setting up. We're going to have our entrance onto the stage coming pretty shortly. However, Playing Ducks versus eSuba is coming up pretty soon. We've got to finish off by talking about the maps, I think. What sort of maps are you thinking? I think that for this matchup in particular, who's banning what, who's wanting to play on what?
It's tough to say because they can always just go back to the standard. We might just as well see Cash or Mirage. So it's like half a year ago or a year ago, it's been all about Cash, Mirage, and Dust 2. When you saw a best of three, when I've been casting 3 best of 3s a day for like 4 days straight.
There's a guy shaking a boot in the front row.
Yeah, so when I was casting like for 4 days straight, 3 best of 3s in a row, it would be Cash, Mirage, Dust 2, or Mirage, Cash, Dust 2, or Dust 2, Mirage, Cash. So that's something always the teams can come back. We don't have Dust 2.
Luckily that we're not going to be seeing Dust 2 today.
Yeah. That's the thing. But what I think we might be seeing right here, I'm not gonna push my luck and say another nuke because that would be too good for me.
I actually think that there's a likelihood that eSuba are going to want to get this match up towards Nuke, they have had they've posted some pretty good score lines on it recently. However, playing Ducks, I feel like that could be a bit dangerous for them. Going on to...
But playing Ducks, they're definitely not uncomfortable on Nuke.
But playing such a tactical map against a team who are known for their tactics, I feel like they are wanting a Cache or a Mirage. I feel like they're wanting a more scrimmy map.
Might be a possibility. And the other maps that we might see coming, I would... so yeah, I said that there can always be a Mirage or Cache. I'm saying that probably it's not going to be Nuke. I'm going to go for Cobblestone or Inferno.
Yeah, sure. I definitely think that this veto is definitely up for the taking. However, in this matchup, I do want to see the star players perform, and I do want to see a close match, as we said before. I want people like Carp to step up and have that superstar performance, and superstar on this level, obviously not like an international superstar performance. I want to see him do really well in this game today, and I want to see him take the battle to these, especially when he's on the CT side. I want to see him taking those opening picks. That's why I want to see such an AWP-heavy map, and I think that eSuba definitely want an AWP-heavy map as well. They want to be allowing Carp to get those aggressive picks and start feeling it from the offset. I wouldn't be surprised if they save enough to get an AWP in his hands. I think that they're going to want the AWPs in early, especially on their CT side, by the way. And especially on a map like Overpass. If they're lucky enough to get a map like that, I feel like they definitely could come out on top of that scenario.
Yeah, it's real tough to call right now, and there still is a possibility of seeing exactly what happened in the previous match. And what I mean, what I'm saying right here is maybe the first half is going to be completely evened out, but then it's going to be dominated by one of the teams when we get to the second 50% of the game.
That is very like 2014 Counter-Strike type stuff, where you saw a very close first half, and then like Fnatic of 2014, LDLC of 2014, who would go pound for pound in the first half, especially when they were on their T side, and then when it went to CT, they could lock it down. And that's something that we saw from Planet Key just a few moments ago. We saw them go very scrimmy, take round for round, and they started on that T side as well, which meant that they were warm on the CT side. But when they switched the side, they didn't have to have that warm-up time to adjust their aim. They went straight into the game, and they did pretty damn well, to be honest.
Yeah, so I want to actually go back to the start of the previous map, where Planet Key chose to start on the T side after winning the knife round. And you said how it is a little bit of an NIP strat. And now you touched on...
it's something that NIP used to do, especially on Cache. When they're on Cache, which is a much more even map, or it definitely was at the time, NIP would choose this T side to get themselves warmed up before the game actually started. So when they were on CT side, they weren't starting slow. Obviously, a CT pistol round, you need that good aim. And if you win the CT pistol round, you might win the next two. And then you're really far ahead. You've got good stead for your economy. If you start slow on the CT side in a best of one or even a best of three, the likelihood is you're probably going to lose that map.
Yeah, so what I wanted to say, how I wanted to maybe not counter, but just add to this, is that when I commentated with Devilwog,
dropping the big names in there.
I was asking him about a lot of stuff about how he figures out the maps. I mean, you don't get these opportunities so often to cast with a man like him. I mean, a player that was the champion of the world as a player and as a coach. So overall, he knows a big deal.
I used to be really good friends with Devilwalk. Where are you, man? Come on, add me back.
Anyway, he said that when they played Inferno, he liked to go for these mind games. When they lost the knife round, it was obvious that the enemy is going to pick the CT side, and they wouldn't be happy or unhappy about it. But when they won the knife round, they were extremely happy because they could pick the T side. And right now, when you lose your knife round, you know that the enemy is going to pick CT side. And then Fnatic, they pick T side. And you're like, what the hell is going on? You're like starting to wonder. And it
I
was
know.
it was the Inferno before the remake, right? So it was even more CT side
Yeah.
right there. So maybe that's the thing the Planet Key decided to do right here. Like, try to go for that T side to throw the enemies off. Maybe it wasn't a good idea against Gameplay DNA because overall, like, these guys, they've gone for some crazy stuff. So trying to surprise them doesn't work because they're surprising you.
It's that ESEA strat though of picking the T side. I know when I'm playing ESEA, I lose a knife round and then I see 5 people instantly press T. I'm like, oh god, well, what's coming next? And we normally get rolled over like 13-2.
Yeah. All right. So we'll talk about the sides and everything a little bit later when we find out the veto. Right now, that's happening on the stage, and also the team's introduction with Nikita. So throwing it over to you.
Thank you very much. Yes, I'm on stage waiting for our second match after an exciting first match. First of all, I'd like to introduce the Playing Ducks. Welcome to the stage, guys. So how are you feeling? Confident?
We're feeling amazing.
That's good to hear. That's very confident. So I hear that one of your members is actually really new, about like 2 or 3 weeks.
In the team, yes, we have 2 new members, and we're already playing very well with them. And this is the first LAN for this lineup, and we feel very confident.
You don't think that they'll find it a bit nervous to play on stage in front of a live crowd?
This is the test for them and for us as well, because we're a team, and we'll see how it goes. But it's all on the players.
There we go. Okay, so who's the in-game leader?
It's Lukia.
Lukia, okay. And what about Orpa?
Lukia as well.
Lukia as well. Well, there we go. Very easy. So, okay, so from what I know, you guys are all Lithuanian. Do you think having a one-language team helps you communicate better? And
Yes, definitely. We're aiming for, when we change to players, we were aiming to get 2 Lithuanians because we like speaking in our language. It's much easier to give information, and yeah, it helps a lot.
Great. Okay, well then, look, good luck, guys, and hope it goes well. Put your hands together for Playing Ducks. Next team, can you please put your hands together for eSuba? Welcome to the stage, guys. So how are you feeling?
Hello, we are feeling pretty good and pretty confident, so yeah.
Well, last weekend, your team actually won the tournament. Do you think you guys will win this one?
We will see. We need to play our game, and we need to be just good, and we will maybe win.
Okay, where are you guys from?
We are from. I'm from Slovakia, and my 4 teammates are from Czech Republic.
Okay, and do you feel like the language, is it okay? How do you communicate?
I mean, we are communicating in the Czech language, but it's pretty the same, and yeah.
Okay, good. All right, so what do you feel more comfortable on this map? Do you feel like T side or CT side?
We will see. It depends how we will play. We can play good on CT side or T side. It just depends on how the game will go, and yeah.
All right, well, good luck. I hope it goes well for you guys. Cheers. Well, those are our 2 teams, eSuba and Playing Ducks. Hopefully we'll have a great match. Back to you, Squid and Nero.
Yeah, so I'm guessing they just don't want to give up the strats. We're saying that, yeah, we'll see how we do. They probably have a favorite side.
He
that they
kept
would
his
like
cards.
to go for.
He kept his cards very close to his chest. Just said, didn't he?
But then, who do you expect to say before the map starts?
Oh yeah, we're going for this double AWP setup. That's really going to catch Playing Ducks by surprise. I expect him to say that.
Well, in the pistol round, we're actually going to go for a 4-1 split. Yeah, so you know what to do. So yeah, that's the thing. So they're definitely not going to reveal their cards, but it's still tough for me to say. Playing Ducks actually saying that they're pretty confident, and yes, this is the first LAN with the new lineup, but also, as I mentioned, for eSuba, 2 players also were replaced. Like, I don't want to like overshoot it, but I would say that it was already like a half a year ago.
It was like 3 weeks ago, wasn't it, when these eSuba members were replaced? Or like,
wasn't
it like a couple of?
Was for playing.
Oh yeah. We're Playing Ducks. Sorry, a couple of these members. So these rosters are kind of volatile. You've got to say that. Definitely at this tier 3 level opposition, and I think that that's like a fair judgment. Teams are really hit and miss, where rosters, yeah, they'll stay together for 9 months, but some will only last a month.
Yeah, and that's what I'm definitely familiar with, because the Polish scene is like famous for just switching out players non-stop and never settling with one lineup. But yeah, for eSuba, before they settled with the lineup that they have right now, they had a pretty solid previous one where they played for quite a long time together. So I feel like it's a very well thought through decision that they went for right here, and that it's not going to be just a bad shot. They definitely have to have put their hopes in something solid.
I don't know about you, but eSuba didn't actually sound that confident there. He was stood there and he seemed kind of timid. And he was like, yes, and maybe we'll win. And it just it didn't sound too convincing to me.
But that's also the thing. That's also an interesting thing to point out that I'll touch on a little bit later. But what I want to say right here, a lot of that confidence can just come from you being able to speak English very well.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
I was going to mention that.
When we have a Czech lineup right here, or a Lithuanian lineup right here, or a German lineup right here, some players seem not confident at all because they're not confident in their English speaking skills and in how they will show themselves on stage, rather than their gameplay, actually.
I think what matters is how confident they are in the game, not how confident they are on the stage, in front of a camera. I know that that can be something that's kind of timid for a player who's used to being at home without even a webcam on, just like playing your game in your pants or whatever. And at LAN, you definitely can't do that.
Yeah, that's the thing, and so you always have to get used to maybe a different chair because you have a squeaky one without one leg at home and stuff like that. You know, when you come to LANs, you actually start to notice these little things. Some people have their keyboards like in a normal way. Some people have it completely.
I have my keyboard way
degrees.
to the right. I definitely couldn't do that at LAN.
Some have the monitor like right in their face, while some want to just play laid back a little bit. So these differences between the players are huge, and no one plays the same play style. And yeah, at home you have it prepared. You just sit and you play. Right here you have to set everything up. Sometimes when you've never changed your setup for like 2 years, you don't remember how to even do it, so you have to ask your teammates to set up your monitor, and they don't know exactly how you like it, so it's gonna be off. So yeah, that's the thing.
It's like running a bath, isn't it? If you don't know, if you don't run baths, they're not going to be as you like them. That is a solid analogy right there. Either way, I had a really good point, and it was about it was actually going to compliment ELC. I was going to say that those things that you were talking about are probably negated to some extent, since the setup is so good. The players have so much desk space. You see it up there. It's like proper designed desks. This is a proper esports studio as well, as you can see, proper esports studio, and I think that that's going to make a lot of these players very comfortable. And by the way, this isn't eSuba's first time being here either. They've been here before. So haven't they? Oh, have they not?
The League of Legends style.
Oh, no. Who was it that's been here? Was it Playing Ducks last season that was here? Or who was it? There's a team here this season who were here last season.
eSuba definitely played in group stages. Playing Ducks...
Maybe I just got it wrong. Maybe I just get it wrong. But I think the main point is this stage is really versatile, and I think that that's going to be something that players like a lot.
See, all right, so I don't want to be like offensive to you or something, so don't defend yourself right now.
Whoa.
Don't
go on, Dad.
Yeah, because I can see that you're kind of like, when I'm correcting facts.
No.
It's all right. I just want to say exactly how it is. eSuba, they're here on the spot for the first time, but they played in the previous Legend series in Counter-Strike. They just got eliminated.
But they didn't make the final. Okay,
but when they were here, and what Nikita meant on stage is that 1 week ago, the League of Legends team was here and they won the tournament. And that's also a thing that I said I'll touch on a little bit later. So that's the thing. The big contrast. The Counter-Strike team kind of composed, kind of maybe afraid a little bit, while the captain of their League of Legends team was the the liveliest person in the entire room.
He was
last
the
week.
life and heart of the tournament. He was the beating heart of that stage up there, I guess. I
Yeah.
wasn't here last week, so and I don't really know too much about League of Legends either, so I don't know how that dynamic differs, but I know in Counter-Strike, confidence matters, and confidence matters lots. On that stage today, I think that the team who are most confident is got a really big edge in this one.
Yeah, all right. So going back to the other teams, playing Ducks, they were also playing in the previous tournament. It is the same for Planet Key Dynamics, but none of them were actually here on LAN Finals. The LAN Finals of the first Counter-Strike Legend Series was between a Brazilian lineup and a German lineup, but the German line was actually a mix. And they had some pretty interesting stuff going on because in the qualifiers they played with a little bit different lineup with like one person different from what they used in the group stages. In the group stages, they didn't use their core member of the team. And actually that guy in turn showed up on the LAN finals, but another guy had to step down for a while. And in the meantime, they were playing with a stand-in all the time.
So basically juggling with players,
Yeah.
they didn't really know.
Non-stop.
Yeah. Yeah, so these teams definitely a lot more stable than last year, so we're definitely making some progress. But just before we get into this matchup, he did say like they weren't too specific about what the map actually is, so I don't know what the map is just yet. Do you?
No.
No, okay. But they were talking about, do you think that the T side's favoured on this map or the CT side? So they definitely know the map pick already. We don't quite yet, but if it's a map like Cobblestone, so to say, that could be a really interesting question. And it actually leads me to believe that this is probably going to be a Cobblestone pick, I guess. And if it is, let's just theory craft here. Who do you reckon a Cobblestone pick favours?
It's tough for me to say. I mean, I'm gonna come back for a little moment longer to the first Legend series. Right there, we had a Danish team Tricked.
Okay.
And they actually
yeah.
qualified for the LAN finals, but they decided not to come because they had a different tournament at the same time, so they unfortunately couldn't come.
Did they have DreamHack tours at the same time?
Might have
Wasn't
been
that
the
one? Was
thing,
it
might have been the
it was the trick lineup with Hunden
Yeah,
and that lot. So yeah,
So-
would have definitely been contenders to win that tournament as well, wouldn't they?
For sure. And when we are talking about Danish teams on 100% confident in their capacity on Cobblestone, right here we've got playing Ducks versus eSuba, and yeah, we can say that with the snipers, with the good snipers that the eSuba has, they're gonna do very well on Cobblestone, and definitely the two people that you mentioned, Caparzo and Frey, will be the pillars of the team. While on the other hand, playing Ducks, I wouldn't say they rely so much on the AWP. They also have an Opera who can completely perform and get like triple and quad kills all the time on Cobblestone, but I feel like that's not what they're focused on based on the previous Cobblestones that I watched with this team, but it might have completely changed with the two new people in the lineup.
I think that Cobblestone would probably be the most interesting matchup here because obviously we've got quite a contrast and a lot to talk about. On the eSuba side, we've got the two AWPers, as you've already mentioned, but playing Ducks, we've talked about it quite a bit today. They've got that individual skill, that individual prowess that I think that they'll be showing quite commonly. However, it's a question of which one of those two factors will actually hold up true. eSuba's reserve T side and calculated T side could definitely come out on top of a map like Cobblestone where those tactics and those B takes are so important. However, if we're talking about B takes again, playing Ducks might actually struggle to penetrate a B site with an AWP there. Definitely, if Cappy's on the site raining death from statue, he could have a really, really big impact here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so right now I can still see our admin right next to playing Ducks, actually sitting at one of the PCs of the players, so they're still getting everything sorted out, possibly setting up their keyboards, their mice and stuff like this. So yeah, the question is, do we really, is the map already picked? Do we just don't know the choice, or was it just not done in the first place?
It was definitely picked due to that interview where they said, like, on this map, so they already knew the map. However,
okay.
I think that isn't actually an admin. I think that that's the coach of playing Ducks sorting out the configs, and that is Oh, no, that is the admin sat down. That's their fifth player.
you were talking about the other guy.
Yeah. No. I made a mistake there. However, yeah, the admin just trying to sort out a couple of issues before we get into this one. Let's say that it's not cobblestone. Let's say that it's another even map, like Nuke again, for instance. How do you think that changes the dynamic of this matchup?
It's gonna be real interesting because, as I said, playing ducks are not bad on Nuke in my opinion, but then we had eSuba stepping up very much lately, and a lot would probably go down to the knife round right there, because one team could be completely surprising, the other team could be just trying to go for the standard, and in here I feel like it's not a matchup where gameplay DNA, it's up to them to surprise. It's up to them to come up with something completely special to actually be able to take a team down. Here, I think on paper, we do have an evened out matchup. And two of these teams have their distinct play styles already like surfacing for a long time, and that's what they're going to go for. And they're not going to be like a dark horse. We know what to expect from them, right?
Yeah, I think that something that we haven't touched on yet is playing ducks have a history of playing higher level competition. Obviously, they're in ESEA Premier right now, which is something that can't be said for eSuba. So playing ducks are playing against high level teams like Gambit, like Penta, like Kingwin, I'm pretty sure they got relegated into Premier after this season. Would have been Virtus Pro. That would have been funny. But playing ducks, I think the important thing is they have access to scrim against this tier 1, tier 2 opposition, which eSuba don't necessarily have, being less known players, being less established players when it comes to the ESEA leagues. And remember, ESEA is such an important resource for these teams to be able to play against each other on the regular. On stream as well, on stream in front of a lot of people. I know that a lot of those games, even on the B stream, get a lot of viewers, especially if Bam's casting it.
Okay, yeah, definitely could be a factor right here. But then on the other hand, we have some like single players that definitely know what they're doing. Like I said, on playing ducks, 3 out of 5 of these people, they've been around for a very long time. They've been playing on pretty big lands, so they shouldn't be intimidated at all. But their challenge is going to be controlling the 2 newer guys, right? And they themselves said that it's going to be a test to them. And they said that they're confident, but they don't know how it's going to work out. Yeah, they're sure of their like skills and how they work together, the team play overall. But the LAN kind of factor, they don't know how it will work, and they're not worried by it. They'll try to figure it out on the fly.
It's the old veterans' job as well to try and break these new talents into LAN. It's actually their job to make sure that the newer players are feeling comfortable. Otherwise, that's the whole point of a team dynamic. Players like MBK are only so good, and players like Existence, for instance, here's a better example. He's only so good because he can take up-and-coming talent and he can turn them into tenured stars. This is something that playing ducks need to do, but on a slightly lower level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit different for sure. And overall, I feel like the caliber of where they have to do it is completely different, because bringing up, for instance, like a 17-year-old guy to a major tournament where there's millions of people watching him, it's going to be a little bit different than right here, right?
Yeah, it's definitely on a much bigger level. But like breaking into a LAN scenario where you've just got people watching. I know when I've played at LAN and when I've played different tournaments, I've definitely found it difficult. Just having one person behind me, I think, definitely changes the way I play. It makes me overthink what's going on. And when I'm going to take an aggressive ult pick, I think, is this the best thing to do? And then I don't get that aggressive pick for my team, or I'm a bit jittery and a bit shaky in the hands and fail to get it as well. LAN just throws another crease in your gameplay.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. I've never been playing like competitively, but on many events I've been playing on some booth or whatever.
You can see it as well, can't you, in the players? You can see that they're just not as confident.
Yeah, not only see, but you can also, like, when you are playing, when you're sitting at the PCs, you can feel the eyes on the back of your head, like that somebody's right behind you. You can feel the movements, like the airflow. You usually don't get that kind of stuff when you're at home.
Unless I've got my window cracked open a little bit.
Or your mum will. box in or whatever. But yeah, that's what it looks like. It's completely different. But yeah, as I mentioned, playing Ducks, 3 players extremely experienced, so there's not going to be a problem with that. eSuba also 3 players that have been together for a very long time. Caparzo, who is a streamer, who knows how to behave, who has been playing on various levels. Sometimes he's not been able to keep up. Sometimes he's been on a level a little bit too low for him, so he was crushing everybody. Right now, I feel like he's finding his balance, or already found. And with this lineup, they are able to achieve some stuff, and sometimes it just doesn't work out for them. But I know that they are traveling a lot. That's the thing. I got to know the first time I saw eSuba in person was already 2 years ago. And these guys are just driving or flying over Europe and going to many different international tournaments. So this international experience also is not a problem for them at all.
I think that somebody who we haven't talked about, and we've actually kind of neglected this, is Freddie. He is a player with not as many, like I've not done as much research into him, so to say, but I think that as a secondary AWPer, that puts eSuba apart from the competition in a game such as this. It's something that none of the other teams have the ability to do, and I think that that could be a spoiler factor as well. They've got the ability to have that second star, to have the player who can open up with an AWP, with a rifle, additionally, in addition to Cappy doing it.
Yeah, so surely that will be a factor. And now the biggest factor, I guess, for us is which map it is going to be. Because then we'll be able to actually value, like, rate these AWPs. How important are they indeed?
Rate my AWP. I think, yeah, I think that the map is definitely a really big factor. I don't want to see it go to a map like Mirage. I think that that could just be a rollover, unless Cap has like a superstar performance on Mirage and locks down CT spawn, and Freddy gets the AWP out as well, and he can take control of mid while Cap's on A, and one play B, one play A, play a double upset, which is actually a little unconventional Mirage to have the double AWP setup, since and the reason for it is because the T's can get onto the sites with relative ease. They can break into the A bomb site by moving up ramp. There are so many open picks. It puts the AWPs at a massive disadvantage when they go for the retakes, and that's why it's a little unconventional, and it costs so much as well. And a map like Mirage, you need to actually keep your money going. You need 5 rifles in most of these rounds. Otherwise, especially if you're playing a team like Planet Key, like we saw earlier, you can definitely abuse a 3 rifle setup when you've got 2 pistols.
Yeah, and that's the thing about the double setup. You can pull it off anywhere, any kind of map, but the value is just completely different on Cobblestone compared to, like, as you said, Mirage maybe. But then on every single map, you can definitely find a place for yourself, for your AWPer. Just the question is going to be the rotation times and stuff like that, and how well the enemies and how quickly can they adapt to the bomb site and the post-plant positions, so that when you are actually on the retake, say on the CT side, then if you can actually quickly get to that bomb site and start doing something with the AWPs. Because if the enemy easily gets the after-plant positions, well, we don't have those two for a long time already in the pool, but that's the classic kind of like example. It's so hard to retake B side as the CTs when the enemies already take it over. And additionally, when you have the AWPs, it's nearly impossible. So yeah, it's going to be these differences.
I feel like a team like Playing Ducks is in a prime position to punish that sort of double up setup as well. They have so much individual skill that they can actually break into the sites, even though a double up setup's in progress and or in play. And eSuba are going to find the retakes really difficult. So I think that that's probably why Playing Ducks have an advantage overall in this matchup. However, it definitely doesn't mean that eSuba are all dead and out of this one before it started. On a map like Cobblestone, let's say that it does go to Cobblestone, which I'm fairly sure it is going to be. Playing Ducks do have that advantage that they can break into the A site mainly. Obviously, we're going to be seeing an AWP towards long, but as soon as Playing Ducks closes up that distance, and Cobble is a really good map at doing that. with Cobble, you can actually close up the distance really well, throw a smoke grenade, push all the way up behind it, and really cut the AWP out of the map. And that's something, if we're talking about AWPers in general on Cobblestone, that Fallen's really good at. He's able to, when he gets smoked off, change his position, put the pressure on the T side. He plays towards A, and he's trying to get that information at all times. And I think that that's something that Cap is going to be doing. He is no Fallen, obviously. Fallen is such an individually skilled player, and he's got the brain to complement it, that he can take those initial picks, he'll hit the shot, and if he doesn't, he gets all that information. He knows how to back off. His utility usage is almost perfect. And I think Fallen is probably the best at playing A-site Cobblestone. I don't see anybody else in contention for that. And by A-site, I mean that up close and personal area. I'm talking about by door, up towards long, where you're peeking out. He just finds so much information, and it allows SK to use a 4B setup as well. And then when you've got Fur, Cold, Phelps, Taco, all firing, how's the T side supposed to get through that?
Yeah, that's the thing. Also, team play is going to be a big thing right here, because I'm talking about how Caparza performing is going to be a key to eSuba doing well. But then you've also got the fact that the rest of the team basically have their own skills, limitations, and stuff like that. The communication is also going to be really important, especially on Cobblestone, especially on bomb site A. When you don't have that quick responsiveness, it can get out of hand real quickly. And it's hard for me to compare, because we're talking about how, yeah, eSuba might be fishing for some info maybe, and then trying to collapse on the enemies as a team. But I also feel like Playing Ducks will be trying to force through quicker than it's possible for the enemies to reply.
Exactly. They're going to get really aggressive, and that's the way to counter this double AWP setup that we're likely going to see from eSuba. I think that Playing Ducks is going to not play into the enemy's hand, and they're going to move really quickly. If it's Cobblestone again, I'm pretty sure it is. They are going to move quickly up towards A. They're going to force eSuba to play a 3-2 setup, and then that leaves the B site open. They can then try picking apart that site as well by trying to get some entry kills over there. Because when you're playing a 4-1 setup and the guy at A is just dominating, so you can't get through him, and over towards B, you've got 4 players. How are you supposed to get into a site like that? As I said about SK, that's something that eSuba is going to be trying to do pretty early on, but I don't think that that's going to work against Playing Ducks. I think Playing Ducks are just too good. I think that they're going to be able to break that linear tactic.
Yeah, that's the question. How is it? How are they going to show it today? How is it actually going to be in this land? Because normally that's what Playing Ducks would do, but maybe some of them will feel like a little bit paralyzed. I'm talking like especially about the newer guys, but they didn't look so concerned about that, so it should be fine. I mean, in the previous game, Planet Key got onto the stage with this kind of attitude, just like Playing Ducks right here, so maybe that'll show like that this is the winner's mindset, maybe.
Yeah, and I think that that's something that is a really poignant subject to touch on. Is eSuba do have a couple of Playing Ducks do have a couple of newer players, so maybe that aggressive style won't work. On the contrary, if I'm playing devil's advocate, if they are new and if they aren't feeling 100% confident coming into this matchup, the tactic and the strats that we've described to actually counter eSuba probably won't work in that respect. If you're okay, then let's take a step back. If Playing Ducks really want to go for an aggressive play, really want to go towards A, and eSuba have an AWP there, that moment or two of hesitation can let Cappy get into a position to take 2 or 3 kills instead of the 1 and then get run down that you would initially do. And that's the difference between Playing Ducks getting annihilated and finding themselves in a 2-on-4 on the retake, or finding themselves on a 4-on-4, being able to assume those after plants and actually do some proper damage.
Yeah, and also as we're on the topic on this map, I'm trusting you on this one. don't fail me. I'm
gonna be pretty upset if it isn't Cobblestone at this point. I've talked about Cobblestone so much.
Me too. So yeah, if we're talking about Cobblestone in particular, the question is, with that double up setup, since we're talking about the defense on eSuba most probably, are they going to be able to control the middle? Because that's also is a problematic part of the map. And I'm not going to tell you when exactly or against whom, but in my head I have that one little moment from playing Ducks when they were trying to control the drop zone with Galil. I feel like there's always that player that doesn't even need good enough economy to be able to try and control that area of the drop zone. So as the T side, playing Ducks can be very, very dangerous right there. And it comes down to how eSuba will be able to control it. The question is, will it be Caparzo rotating over to the connector, or will he actually focus more on it? Or is he going to be going for these aggressive long-range fights on the sidewalk?
I think that he's going to be doing a bit of both, to be honest. I think when you've got such an individually talented player on a big stage like this, you want to be utilising him in every way that you can. I think that he needs to be going for those long-range engagements, going for the picks early on as well. And I think that he needs to be rotating all over the map, because as soon as eSuba know, or as soon as playing Ducks know, oh, by the way, Cap is over here, they're going to rush to the other side of the site. And if when they get over there, they're greeted by Cappy again, they're going to be pretty tilted at that point.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be a factor. And yeah, we're talking a lot about Caparzo, and throughout the
I think that you have
matches
to,
of
though, don't you?
eSuba,
He's so
really-
good.
Yeah, that's the thing. And it started off with a lot of doubt towards him. Like, most of the people supported him because he was such a known streamer, but he wasn't so seasoned on the global offensive scene, on this, say, Tier 2, Tier 3 stage. A lot of people were doubting whether he can play on par. And indeed, he was underperforming, maybe because he wasn't used to, and stuff like that. But later on, he's just developed himself so much. And right now, at the moment, Caparzo indeed seems like he's the highlight player on the team, and it's justified. So for now, we're going to have a little bit of an interview with one of the players from Gameplay DNA. They lost the first match of the LAN finals, may I remind you.
It's
So
hype.
let's say
It's hype. They're speaking to hype. It's my man Hype.
Yeah, so let's see what they have to say about that.
Thanks a lot, guys. Yeah, I'm sitting here with Karkas, who has very kindly agreed to do a little interview while we're waiting for the computers to be changed around. I mean, you lost, unfortunately. But how are you guys feeling? Is it like, is the team feeling down, or?
I mean, we're feeling kind of good because we still have a chance, and the chance is on our side, I guess, at least in the first match, in first loser match. And we made some stupid mistakes we shouldn't have made of, and I believe we can fix it. We talked a bit about it, and I still have hope, and our team does, and we'll come.
Well, that's a good attitude to have. I mean, like, I know a huge thing at the higher levels of CSGO, you know, that meant you have to be mentally very strong. I was watching the ECS, and I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm not going to say it, but, you know, at one point it was like 0-7, or 0-8 actually, and they turned around and they ended up equalizing, and it came down to the final match, and it was so exciting. But, you know, a huge part of Counter-Strike, I think, is that mental ability to come back. How do you guys, as a team, collect yourselves in that situation? What do you think you need to do?
We had pretty the same situation in the qualifications when we lost versus Team Zaktai in the first match, and when we just came from a lower bracket and we had first match 16-2, 16-1, and then 16-8, and we came here. So I guess we can come back, and we're capable of doing that, and we'll try to do that.
Cool. All right, then. So who's your favorite team right now in professional CSGO?
My favorite team is now Astralis, but for about 1 year it was Cloud9 until they started underperforming very much. So, but in ECS I found out that they were doing pretty good, and I guess that they may take my heart on. So.
You're chasing the winners. You're meant to love them if they win or lose.
No, when they started losing, like, I don't know, for 2 months, I still believed in them, and I followed them, but it was just too much of losses, and that's pretty bad from my side, but still.
That's fair enough. What about the players? Like, are there any players that you really respect and look up to?
I look up to Device. I watched his personal demos, and because he's Opper, I'm Opper, so we have something together similar. So yeah, Device is my favorite player.
And well, I mean, like, how is his play recently? Do you think it's been really great?
I think that he's doing good, very good, but I've heard as well that he was working so much on it, and it's not just a talent, but it's a hard work, and he, that's him. That's him. I mean, yeah, he's a good player.
There's a very famous quote that says, "Practice beats talent when talent doesn't practice," and I think it's a very true one. We see it a lot. What's your favorite map to play?
My favorite map is now, I guess, Train and Cobble. It's our team's best maps, and it's not a secret because HLT ratings says that, and I can say that here as well. So yeah, these two maps I'm feeling comfortable in.
Okay, all right, fair enough. And what about favorite weapon?
Favorite weapon? I'm Opper, so AWP.
There we go. All right. I guess finally, I just wanted to hear about who do you think is the best player in the game at the moment? A lot of people are saying Coldzera, but do you think that's a case of maybe he looks so good because he's on the winning team, or do you think someone else is? And what are your opinions?
Nowadays there are so many great players, and I couldn't say that just one, because Nico is a star player with his 1 digs and so on. Coldzera is insane with op and his just play style, clutches and so on. But we shouldn't forget in-game leaders. And an example, Fallen. He's doing great with op, doing great with in-game leading. He just put everyone in these positions that they could perform, and they're winning. So I don't know. All props to in-game leaders, and I believe that 5 top teams, in-game leaders are the best players. So Fallen is the first one, and so on.
Are you an in-game leader?
No. Unfortunately.
Who's the in-game leader in your team? And like, how do you, I mean, it's a tricky thing because, it's hard to decide who is the in-game leader and like find it. And how did you guys discover that on your team?
When we have changed our 5th person, we were looking for an in-game leader. So we knew that Dilection is kinda, I would say, best in-game leader in Lithuania. So we just, without any thinking, any doubt, we took him, and now we're doing with him. And before that, I was in game leading a bit, and before even that, Esperanto, our old 5th player, was in game leading. So we just made the decision that we need a strong in game leader, not just amateur ones, and we took him.
Okay, well, I mean, look, hopefully it will work out. I think regardless, you guys have to just remember, at the very worst, you're top 4 out of 16 teams, and like you said, you just reached the lower bracket. You did it in groups, and you worked your way back up to top in a very strong way, so maybe we'll see you in the finals. Anyway, I hear that the computer has been swapped around, so I'll be shooting it back to the desk with Nero and Squid.
Yeah, hopefully everything's sorted, and hopefully indeed the map is cobblestone, because we still do not get a confirmation. We're not going to get one until we actually get into the game. But I can't wait. I mean, now we found out, before this interview started, we found out that one of the PCs has been a problem. Instantly gets replaced, but of course it needs a little bit of time to do that. But basically, since it did get replaced, probably once again, just get your config on and try to go on the way. That's probably going to be the way we do it.
No tournaments go without delays. I went to ESL 1 Cologne, I went to 2015 and 16, but I know 2015, huge tournament. It was a major, $250,000 prize pool. They even had problems like this. It's like, it's so common in Counter-Strike that you really can't lay too much fault at a tournament organizer. That PC's already been swapped out within 5 minutes, so how much blame can you
and also
put?
like
It's pretty good.
Game itself isn't helping, having so many bugs and glitches and all that stuff, and so sometimes not even having any solutions for it, because I mean, the launcher can just get mad at you and just close the game every single time you open it up. And I've had like the game crashing so many times when I was casting matches, and it was like 2 rounds to the end of the map, and the Counter-Strike was just completely shut down without any notice, like for no reason. Stuff like that really happens, so it's kind of unexplainable. But that's just how it goes. Unfortunately, we're not getting as much attention as these Dota 2 players, I guess.
Valve, help us, please. Give us an update. Give me a clean CS.
Actually, no. You know what? I prefer
They're pretty
like
good. They're pretty
more.
good.
No, I prefer more like nail polish or whatever. I'd rather have them add this kind of stuff.
Give me a polish. Give me a clean finish, CS. You heard me, Valve. Do it now. Let's talk about this bracket, though. We've obviously just seen the first matchup of today. It was a 16-8. Planet Key took that one, and we've really exhausted the reasons why that happened. It was basically due to better tactics. Gameplay DNA had nothing in the way of T-side. However, the loser of this match will play against Gameplay DNA in the lower bracket, well, in the round 2 lower match. The loser of that match will go out of the tournament, and the winner of that match will go on. However, the winner of this match will play Planet Key, and that should be an interesting matchup, right?
Yeah, definitely. And overall, I feel like all the matches, as we mentioned before, Planet Key versus Gameplay DNA started, all the matches have a little bit of a backstory, and all of the teams will give their best to grab that victory. But then we have some matches, obviously, that will be more interesting than the others. For instance, we want to see that Gameplay DNA versus Playing Ducks happen.
Yeah, I want to see that domestic matchup. I think that it possibly will be one-sided anyway, but it's not quite nice as a gimmick to have 2 teams from Lithuania playing each other. I think it could be interesting. However, then you've got the upper bracket round of 2 match, which would be, in that case, Planet Key versus eSuba, and that would be a battle of the tactics, see who can come out on top. And I think that Planet Key must have that matchup in their pocket already as well.
Yeah, Planet Key overall, we're talking about how their strength is that they stayed together for so long, that they are rather older players. I don't want to say old because it always sounds wrong, but I mean, these guys are experienced. They've been around on the scene for a long time, and they've been together as a team for a long time, and that's enough. It's already proved to be enough against Gameplay DNA.
Yeah, and I think that we saw that age and experience really shine through earlier on Nuke. Obviously, they had those tactics, and a tactic specifically that I don't know if we touched on was that dark setup that they had with Alex and Krezi, both in dark, peeking and peeking and peeking. And those are the sort of things that they will have specific names for. They will call it will be like pop setup. And then as soon as that's called, and it will be called for some sort of reason as well, it will be called because they know that the dark push is coming in. They know that there are 4 or 5 people through dark. As soon as they've got that information, pop setup called, and then they go for that setup again. And that is the sort of tactic that you will see a consistent team have, like Planet Key, who have had the same stable roster for quite a while now.
Yeah, that's exactly the thing. And that's how you say, like, not only the tactics, not only the stress that they might have developed over time, but overall the trust in the other players. That's
really
the thing,
important
because
point.
you cannot actually pull off these kind of things when the operator is a little bit afraid that his rifler is not going to cover him so well and stuff like that.
And it's something that you can't fake either. It's something really real and something that comes with time. It's something that only the real best teams in the world have had. I think that NiP had it back in the day. They had that intuitive trust. Fnatic had it as well, obviously with the Olafmeister Crims combo, famously playing like Inferno B site. They had that trust that only comes with playing with each other for a long time. Obviously, before Fnatic, Olafmeister and Crims played with each other on LGB. They were playing sites together back then as well. So having that trust and having that tenure together really does aid them when it comes to matchups like this, where you're playing against individually skilled players who might just rush you down and be right in your face within 5 seconds. You need to have the calm, relaxed poise to be able to counter that.
And I feel like it also was just such a smart idea to just always put them together when Olafmeister and Crims joined, because like, imagine these 2 players were set apart and one would be covering B, the other bomb side A. And you don't have that trust built up between the other players of the team, and no matter how skilled they would be, working together they would be twice as efficient as alone.
Yeah, and obviously with those two players, you've got the passive and the dominant one. You've got Crims, who is much more passive, and he will fall back commonly on mid on Mirage. He'll play the connector area, and he will peek into Palace, and his timing is so perfect. You see him know exactly when to turn around and take the jewels, and when he needs to fall back, when he knows that there are two people coming from connector, but a guy from Palace, he knows that he needs to take the spraying connector and get that pre-fire through and get a couple of bullets through before the initial push comes in. He knows when to back off as well. He's such an intelligent player, and something that only matched now by Cold Zero, a player who's, for my money, the best player in the world right now. You just see when he plays. I remember casting him the other day. We casted, it was just a practice cast on Cobblestone, and it was just like an ESEA match against Hellraisers or something, but he played so intelligently, and it's your ability to fall back and know when to take those engagements that are so important, and this is something that actually reflects on this matchup as well.
Yeah, it's always visible when you've got a player like that. He always stands out, and he never really makes these tiny mistakes that sometimes people make because they're nervous, maybe, like Carcass and on Gameplay DNA, because they don't actually have it tested out so well as for some new players that could have been there. Yeah, I don't think that Nikita touched on that at all. It is a little bit unlucky because he didn't get into details about the previous match.
Carcass, not hype. Carcass.
Yeah, I guess now we know. And maybe it's going to be hype after this match. If they manage to win it, it's actually going to be an interview with the winner. But we're just missing one player on the server, if I'm not mistaken, unless these are bots, because we don't really see it so clearly in this little picture-in-picture. But yeah, we're getting ready. And I guess since we are on Mirage, it is going to be Mirage after all. So we mentioned Mirage or Cobble.
I do actually see one bot on the server. I see Blue is in there on the T side.
Oh, well, anyway, though, it is actually going
that
to
joke
be
didn't go
Mirage
down very well,
instead
did
of
it?
Cobble. So unlucky. I mean, we were saying that please no Mirage, and
it's not Cobblestone. What is this? They made me think there was Cobblestone all this time. I theory crafted so much Cobblestone. I talked about Cobblestone for a solid 10 minutes, and now it's Mirage. What's going on?
Yeah, so right here, actually, it's very interesting how a lot of people mention mid control on Mirage is the key. When your T side has a very good, strong AWPer that can dominate the middle, then it's hard for CTs to figure out what they want to do. Whether they let go of this middle, then it's really complicated still to just defend deeper in the bomb sites and stuff like that. And if you want to face off against that AWPer, you probably most of the time have to sacrifice a person in order to do that. So it's always real complicated. And right here, that's the question. Is there going to be a battle for the middle, or is it going to be completely given up? Or will the T side just not get this kind of idea because they will think that it's too obvious and they'll just use the opposite the other way? I mean, from like personal experience, I'm not an amazing player or whatever. I've never even played on a competitive level, but I can see a lot of AWPers taking the battles from the Palace, and it seems to be working out most of the time.
Yeah, nowadays that can be viable. I think it was definitely more viable a year ago, a year and a half ago, when the surprise factor was definitely thrown into the mix. However, if we're talking about this matchup on Mirage now, it actually throws a bit of a spanner in the works, because initially we thought it was going to be Cobblestone, and we thought, wow, eSuba have really done well out of this pick ban if it was Cobblestone. However, it isn't, it's Mirage, and I think playing Dux has probably got a solid lock onto this one. I feel like their individual skill will show in such a scrimmy map.
Yeah, there definitely is a possibility like that. And right here, it's going to be a little bit different from what we're talking about, the middle of Cobblestone. Like we were saying, like Cappy will probably be looking at bomb sites A, switching over to the connector a little bit to try and take control of that mid. Right here, the middle is completely different. I'm not too sure if it's going to be possible for Caparza to escape or just rotate so freely. He's going to rather have to commit into a place. At least that's what I'm seeing in here. But, well, let's go. Let's finally get into the game. Finally, the PC's been replaced, and we can kick off with Playing Ducks versus eSuba, the second match of the day, and there's still a lot ahead of us.
Yeah, so much to play for, and this knife round probably won't mean too much because I feel like both of these teams can play both sides of Mirage, so I don't feel like this is crucial like a nuke or like a cobblestone. However, eSuba aren't going to take it regardless, which, yeah, it could actually be a slight bonus for them, being what some would say the underdogs in this matchup. Winning the knife round's definitely a good boost right off the bat.
For sure, so pistol, and this already puts you, just taking the pistol round puts you already so much closer to getting that AWP that we are emphasizing so much. And it was said by Playing Ducks on the stage that Lukia is their in-game leader and is also their AWPer, so there's a possibility that he'll be rather taking a little bit more time than playing aggressively in order to be able to just give out the commands to his teammates and stuff like that.
Oh, this pistol round strat is looking fast from Playing Ducks. Straight down mid. This A split could definitely work out. Oko finding the first pick, and Cap, the stream superstar, missing a couple of shots there, supported by Freddy. However, Playing Ducks have actually salvaged this A site, but what a boost is this? Oko does find one, and you see Kalinka is very passive and very timid, knows that this push is going to come in soon, and using that Glock to his advantage, finds a one. On his low as well. Blue needs to stay alive, but he doesn't. Kalinka with two, both headshots as well. eSuba need to get onto this site now, and Nuck is going to go down. Just Kalinka left. He's already got one, but Fred is going to eliminate him, and this bomb's going to be defused. eSuba taking the first.
Oh, just imagine Nukia getting some kills right there. It would have been a completely different situation, but it started with a 5-on-2. Kalinka, I expected him to go down right there, to be honest. I did not expect him to get a double kill, but after he got the first frag, the second was just a matter of seconds, just a matter of the enemy finally peeking at him. And eSuba overall, an extremely strong of a pistol round. Though it also reassures me that Playing Ducks were able to somehow find themselves in it at the very end. Yeah,
this push probably going to come in from Playing Ducks in the next couple of seconds. They got the bomb down, so they can afford to buy in the third if they, well, regardless whether they take this one. But the SMG is going to start off by doing damage. Freddy trying to chip it as well. And what was that double nade? Beautiful damage done. Nook is going to only take the one, a successful round, by eSuba.
Yeah, and that's how you keep it up. But yeah, they're building up the money slightly. Only one UMP remaining on their hands, but they're aware of Playing Ducks having the money too. And
wait a minute, Fred is 6-0 right now. What a scoreline to start him off.
Yeah, looks real good. And then you still got different players on the team that are also doing very, very well. And as I mentioned, Playing Ducks, they are the guys that do not stray away from the Galil. A lot of teams decide that it's not a weapon worth buying, but on Playing Ducks you will see that weapon often.
Yeah, and it's actually kind of interesting. It allows them to go for more of a buy in the first round after getting the bomb down. They let themselves go for a push onto the B site. In this case, it didn't pay out, and now that you're stuck with a crappy little Galil, however, eSuba, they know that the peak is coming in now, and the push is probably going to come in. They know that this is going to be a buy from Playing Ducks. However, this split across the map, Playing Ducks have taken so much map control.
Cappy, though, is he going to find it out? So it only takes one single step towards the middle to spot them, but also it would be very dangerous too. In the meantime, Marco takes care of one side there and gives the info that there's not going to be anybody else. Scaparzo with just one, but already coming in from behind. Yes, that's going to be Kalinka securing the frag on him. 3-on-3. They know exactly where Arco is. Should be easy with their blue to support him, and that's what they were not expecting. And he himself actually gets the kill, not even losing so much health. That is surprising somewhat. Straight out 35 bullets in the mag, and he doesn't even need half of that, or hell, a fourth of that. Kalinka with a kill on Arco, very important. Hanky all alone in a 1v2, though it's not impossible to win for sure. However, the HE already was wasted. It didn't hit anybody.
Trying to move his way into this site, and there's a great crossfire established by Playing Ducks. Hanky does find the first, straight through the box. Got a headshot though, and Hanky, he's trying to dodge and weave his way around this site, but Hype is going to find the headshot. Playing Ducks do take their first on the board.
Wow. Wow, amazingly close of a round, but it definitely was until the very end possible to pull it off for eSuba, especially after the kill as a wallbang. Gave him such an advantage when he jumped up from behind the flaming boxes. He also spotted up the top of his enemy's head, so he had perfect info and perfect environment to actually play out that situation, but no luck this time. It's going to be 2-1. It's going to be Playing Ducks actually alive and very quickly. And it is so important for them because they don't allow eSuba to build up that economy of theirs. Because they had to replace the SMGs with the rifles so quickly, because they were not able to get so much money, because the bomb was planted so early on, there was a possibility to do that for Playing Ducks to surprise them and to put them on a scout for Maz. 5-7 right now, which is not looking good at all. But yeah, Nokia already down to 31 HP. And that's going to be a kill for Freddy. A quick reply, Nokia! What a double kill from him. 17 remaining, but he has the rifles right next to himself. And still one-man lead in favor of the CT somehow.
Yeah, Playing Ducks in a 2v3, looking difficult. However, Blue almost gets caught out in that situation. Looking the last player alive, trying to tiptoe his way into the A site. Hasn't got the bomb in hand, have he? Might catch Blue out here, probably will, but oh, the peek does come in from behind Inoku. That's perfect communication from eSuba there, and Playing Ducks get reset. This is really important at this point. They're not going to have a lot of money to work back into this one. Let's see that again. Let's see that double, I think. It's probably the double with the CZ.
No.
Oh, no, it's the turnaround from Blue. And one of the crucial kills that eSuba took in that round have a pause coming in.
Oh, this is getting real intriguing already. 3-1 in favor of eSuba right here, but they're definitely... Okay, let's say that differently. There should have been a solid chance for Playing Ducks to take this round, but somehow it's just never appeared right there. With the double kill with the CZ75 that Luke got right there in the middle, it's so disappointing that they weren't able to do much more. And I feel like that's because they lacked the kills from the rifles. The one guy with a pistol was able to kill two, and the others with rifles found themselves completely overwhelmed.
Yeah, and that's a real problem if you're Playing Ducks. They've elected to force buy into this round, which I don't agree with. I don't know if it's a quasi, actually. I think it possibly is, but they're going to go straight into A because of it. Blue is here with the AK-47, supported by Oko as well. And the initial kills do come in. Oko and Blue find one apiece. However, these pistols are chiming back with one as well. eSuba can't assume many casualties here, but the bomb's in a compromising position, and Pound sneaks up on Henke. Does find that one. However, Oku is going to close down that T-threat on A and leaves Pound all alone. He's on 20 HP, but Playing Ducks did decent damage into this round, and it'll be interesting to see what their money's going to be. But Pound, he needs to probably find a different angle, I would suggest. Maybe just into Palace, but the bomb is in such a hard position to counter that I don't think that he's going to get onto this site right now. Both Freddy and Oko, the last two alive. I think Pound's lives in this round are all said and done as Freddy goes for this peek and a pre-fire as well to close the round up. Nice, stable round for Playing Ducks as they take 3 kills, and they can actually have slight investment into this one as well. Like, he's going to have the AWP into the next one. We're going to see a couple of pistols. Playing Ducks need to keep the pressure up, because if we look at eSuba's economy, they barely got anything. eSuba, though, on the other hand, need a clean round.
Yeah, definitely. That's very much true, but once again, just Playing Ducks with a great opportunity for themselves, but it escapes them, and I feel like it's a little bit too individual at this moment for them, and Blue Barzo backs him up right after, but the pistol kills are coming through, and once again we get to see 2 kills with the pistols. But what next? Previously, even with the rifles, they weren't able to pull it off. Right now they are going to get their hands on the AWP though, and it's Kalika. Not Lucky who's the main AWP, Lucky though with a pistol. He's quite proficient, finds another. Back to 1-on-1. Kalika knows where the last enemy is, but he thought they jumped down towards the middle, and now goes for a pre-fire right there exactly. Looking to find that guy, but Henke with a perfect position. He's going to catch a glimpse of him, but I still think he should be okay, even if he peeks late. Yeah, that's exactly it. Had a perfect angle, and Kalinka is surprising for me that with not so much time left, he decided to still go for the way round completely. Or maybe he was thinking about saving up that AWP. Anyway, though,
That AWP
No
was
round.
really compromising. To drop that for playing Ducks is a difficult situation because they don't have an AWP to use in this round. They're a team that definitely can go for this 5 rifle setup, and I would say that they're probably better with the 5 rifle setup, to be honest. However, not having an AWP and just taking casualties is going to hurt you a lot. But I think the main thing that we've got to be talking about is eSuba lost 4 members in that round and almost conceded it entirely. Their economy is not running on the steam at all. It's actually running pretty thin. It's going to force an eco if they lose a single round here. And Playing Ducks, that's desperately what they're looking for. If Playing Ducks lose this round, I'm sure they'll be going for a force buy to try and take the fight to eSuba. This push is coming in though, and it's all across the map. Playing Ducks going for quite a set default. And eSuba, they're not getting too aggressive either. The one thing that I definitely don't want to see them do is take aggressive picks. Go up towards this. Cat throws a great flashbang out. It takes a double because of it. Looks for Pain as well, but can't connect onto that shot. But eSuba looking really strong right now. Kalinka does chip back with 2. However, eSuba are getting really aggressive. It might work out in their favor, and it does in the end. But eSuba have been punished for this aggression so many times. I'm worried for them if they go for this throughout this tournament.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's good that you're pointing it out, but nobody's been able to punish Caparzo. Blinds 2 people with a flashbang. The third guy isn't able to reply at all, and it seems way too easy. And I was not expecting, I mean, I don't think that a lot of people were expecting eSuba to be like a heavy favorite into this one. Like, they seemed like favorites, but it also seemed like Playing Ducks would be able to keep up. But right now, Playing Ducks have got nothing to say. All they're doing is just trying to break through with brute force. But most of the time, it works out for 1 or 2 people on the team, while the rest are not doing anything. And with it, you cannot win against a team that is playing with such wits.
Henke needs to back off as well. A couple of these eSuba members are low, and they need to keep these rifles alive. They are a crucial round for eSuba as they survive with 5 players. This is going to be the start of their economy building up. We see that they're going to have about a $3,000 buffer on most of their players, apart from Freddy, who's going to have a little more actually. So Oko and Freddy have 4,000 or 5,000 and 6,000 respectively, and eSuba, if they can take a convincing round here, they are in very good stead for taking a lot of rounds this half.
Oh, interesting of an incendiary. Could have done a little bit more if Freddy didn't show himself to the AWP. But anyway, the reaction was quick enough, and all the 5 HP are gone for look. Yeah, Blow with the kill, and Arco at the same time. He's once again at that aggressive position, and he actually goes further, even through the smoke. Now, terrorists might not have seen that coming, but there was nobody else there, so no one will get surprised. But also, in my opinion, it's a very good idea. The Blue is taking a peek into the palace, and nobody would have expected Akko to actually be crossing the smoke at the same time.
No, not at all. In Playing Ducks, conceding casualties in all of these important rounds, all of the buy rounds, they've not got anything going at the start, and this is a difficult situation for a team who rely on these entry picks, need to get into these sites based on their individual prowess, and eSuba seem really proficient in shutting them down right now. Oh, Elko does spot 2 out, finds them both and drops the bomb as well. There's the Molotov to cut away any Playing Ducks members trying to salvage that C4. Kalinki will find one over towards the B site, and Pang will find a second as well. So eSuba maybe not running away with the advantage that they worked so hard to earn themselves. Gives Playing Ducks a look into this round. We've seen some very messy Counter-Strike early on in this series. Obviously, Cappy is playing hunkered on this site, and as soon as he hears the gunshots, this rotate should come in. Blue's here to support, but Cappy, he might not even need it. Freddy peeks in as well. And eSuba with a really clean round again.
Yeah, Caparzo overall definitely with a great shot to shut down that last entrance, the last hope in this round for Playing Ducks. And also, I wanted to come back to how I said it's not going to matter because there's nobody else on the ramps. Oh, Akko decided that there doesn't need to be anybody on the ramps because he can just push even further and stop them when they come back from the middle. That's something that doesn't happen so often on a higher level, on a competitive level. And most importantly, it never happens that nobody checks positions like these. So a huge mistake on the side of Playing Ducks.
Yeah, and this might be the mental resilience actually coming into play. They are 8-1 down at this point, and in a best of one, you can't afford to have an abysmal start like this. In a best of three, yeah, you can afford it because you've got your map to fall back on, and another one after, but Payne is going to find that initial headshot. Blue going to chip back as well. Back and forth with the kills right now as Blue dodges and weaves to find a double of his own. However, Playing Ducks have salvaged this B site, and this is a must-win round for them. Lucky is going to put down that bomb. They're in okay after-plant positions, but Cappy, he's eagerly waiting for this overpeak from Hype, who is going to peek out, but he finds a headshot because of it. He's got short control now as well, and Playing Ducks, they need to just hold serve. Lucky with another headshot of his own, and it's Cappy, the stream star, going to be the final to fall as Playing Ducks puts 2 on the board.
The headshots extremely quick and proficient from Playing Ducks. It was like they were performing a surgery, and why aren't we seeing more of this? And that once again, like, it was post-plant positions when they're holding down the angles. That already shows eSuba that they have to be a little bit more afraid of Playing Ducks when Playing Ducks have the CT side. But then, will they get enough rounds before the end of the first half to still make a difference? To still be able to fight.
Yeah, eSuba have a lot of control over towards mid as well, so I want to see Playing Ducks go for these side control more. Cappy misses a crucial second shot, and it gives Playing Ducks a lot of real estate onto this A site. The Molotovs go down as well, and this means eSuba can't go for the push yet. Cappy's very low, so this is quite an even situation as Hype tries to take CT control. In-game leader says, back off, mate. Hype needs to recede back to this bomb site, trying to peek into CT, and Okko's going to punish him. A 3v5 now as eSuba doing the damage initially, but they're very low, 40, 20, 15 on the HP side of things, but Kalinka through the side of that box is going to find one. Luck going to peek out as well. Playing Ducks doing the damage, but eSuba are frightfully close to getting back onto this site. A Nucky sword diffused out, needs to get that shot, and he doesn't nail it, but Okko, he hasn't got any time left, got to run around as that bomb explodes.
Yeah, nobody's going to be taken down to the grave by this bomb. That was extremely close for Akko. Oh, we're just running out of time right here. But once again, Playing Ducks are not so bad on this round as on the others. I'm a little bit afraid to say good just yet because it doesn't look close to good for them. They still got only 3 rounds compared to the 8 on the other side.
They've been doing a lot of economical damage, mate, and what that means is they forced this eco pretty early on. If you think of it, eSuba took 8 out of 9 rounds, lost 2, and they're ecoing already. There's the gun down from Okko, and that's almost unsalvageable. eSuba gonna have to back off and just go for damage here. Cappy trying to retrieve the M4, doesn't manage it, and this is going to give Playing Ducks likely a 4th round. Blue taking map control up, going to catch Pound off, and there's an AK for him. However, Freddy at the other side of the site is playing behind this smoke. Could be a compromising position for Kalinka, who's about to wait for this smoke to dissipate to take this initial engagement, but Freddy, he's playing very patiently as well. As this bomb comes in, you see Playing Ducks aren't taking any chances. They're going in with what looks like a normal execute, but 2v4.
Oh.
Kalinka, Freddy does actually miss those initial shots in blue. Maybe the best case scenario is just saving an AK-47 at this point. It's money in the bank, cash in your pocket, an M4 that you don't have to buy into the next round. And eSuba have been struggling on the money front.
Yeah, the peak right there had a horrible timing and also completely inaccurate, so it was just a suicide pretty much. But yeah, you were talking about the economical damage, and that's true. We can find merit in that right now, and we can find the results right now that eSuba are struggling with the weaponry, and they don't have anything to actually axe right now. But where did that come from? I don't think it was completely planned by Playing Ducks delivering that economical damage. All these guys were doing was running around like chickens and getting these kills. Some of them maybe even by chance, and it was just basically aim duels that they wanted to go for, rather than having some structured plan in the game. At least that's what it looked like this part of me. And it only worked out because for once Caparzo wasn't ready on that bomb side B to stop them. When they finally got the bomb planted, it worked out fine. But it might have just as well been a stroke of luck.
eSuba have been playing a lot of aggressive anti-ecos as well, and they've been punished for it on multiple occasions. I would like to see them play some more static passive rounds when they know they've got the advantage, especially against a team like Playing Ducks, who are going to punish that aggression. And you see it here, they've taken 4 rounds when they really should only be on 2 or 3 if it wasn't for eSuba giving them so much to work with.
Well, yeah, that's exactly as you say. So I'm giving a little bit over to Playing Ducks, but right now the playing time is over. And in my opinion, still, if eSuba get more than 10 rounds for themselves after the first half, they'll be more than happy. And it could be over just after the pistol round. But let's see, Playing Ducks are not done for just yet. Through the smoke, it's a good kill for himself. He might be looking for just another right after. Has to reveal a perfect position that he had right there. Although still with a kill. So it is quite worth it, but now the bomb is planted. The CT doesn't do anything about it. Oh, what a shot! They do have the bomb plant right now. They're not so healthy. That's going to be a problem, but there also isn't.
Look at Kalinka. Look at Kalinka. He's going for this angle again. He's found success with it before. Capazzo, does almost walk into it. Kalinka, that looked like it should have been a headshot. This bomb's sticking down very low as well, and Kalinka is keeping these CTs out of the sight. Capazzo being slowed down and off the offset. Kalinka does find the one. Pistols out, going for this damage, but Henki does find it. He hasn't got the kit though, and this bomb is ticking down pretty low, is it? He's
okay,
definitely, he's going to get it. He's definitely going to get this.
Oh,
wow, 9-4 as eSuba. That retake was initialized a little sooner than I thought.
Actually, the bomb got planted, and then we were talking about how Kalinka got into a good position. Then he's drawn it out for a long time. I'm surprised that he actually still had so much time to defuse the bomb even without a dev kit. I expected it to be going off in just a moment, but anyway, perfectly played then by eSuba. I mean, they've given up a lot over the Playing Ducks once again, but just this one single round is extremely valuable, and the fact that they got it instead of Playing Ducks gives them right now the 94 advantage instead of it being an even game, because Playing Ducks would be just in one round difference.
This is the fast play that we said that we wanted to see from Playing Ducks, and they've gone for it. Cappy does take one, but gets traded straight out. Playing Ducks trading so effectively right now, but they found themselves in a 3v3 situation, and they don't really have the A site at all. They're going for this boost, but Fred is going to spot it out. There's 1 and 2, knows where the third is. Pistols out, finds a triple. Beautiful play by Freddy.
Yep, right after, just pick up the AWP, just grab the spoils of war, and 10 rounds.
Oh, let's see it again.
Not
Can we see it again? Oh, sure. Here it comes, surely. This is a triple kill from Freddy. Let's watch it. Oh, no. We're in a 3v3 situation in the next. Oh, no, here's the kills. 1, 2, pistols out. See you later, Kalinka. Next to Fallen.
And it's just so funny that he actually got the kill from scratch with a USPS. It's not like he had beaten up the enemy a little bit earlier. It's not like he was low on HP. You know, it's like 100% 1v1 fight goes off with the USP, and that's enough. Now, Tech9's on the hands of Playing Ducks, but they do get a chance of taking it home. 1 kill has landed on the hands of Pone, but that will be about it. Barzo right after shuts him down back to 4 and 4, and since eSuba still have that advantage of a rifle, I don't think the chances are too high for BD.
Oh, that parting shot from Occo is just finding so much damage through the smoke. What the hell's going on, Occo? Do you even need to see them to get these kills? Hype's the last player alive. He's only on 23 HP. I'm sure that he's not going to do a Hiko. I'm sure he cannot do this. His position's auto-compromised, so here come the Molotovs as well. He's definitely dead at this point. And you see eSuba playing a much more passive game in the after plan, and you see it there. eSuba earlier had some problems, especially in those anti-eco rounds. They weren't playing it too seriously. I think it's because they're on LAN and they want to get aggressive, they want to feel confident, so they overpeak, they overstep their mark. And Playing Ducks, this could have been a 13-2 half.
Yeah, just as well could have been. And as I said, it just as well could have been a stroke of luck that Playing Ducks even got something to begin with, because eSuba, they were losing a couple of people here and there on these skirmishes, but also
Look at the bottom right. Look at the bottom right. What is he doing with his hand? Look at that. That's so weird.
No, he's not doing it with his
Oh,
hand.
is it not? It looks so fast. I guess the camera was just bugging out, but it was like he was going like this. He was like shaking, like he had rickets. But 11-4 and Playing Ducks on this pistol round. The bomb is already going down for eSuba, and this might be really dangerous. Finds their way into connector, but that might be them overstaying their visit. It's Freddy does find the second as well. Beautiful headshot. And Playing Ducks, how are they going to get back onto this side in a 2v3? They haven't even got a kit. eSuba, this might be the eve of them taking this map. Blue looking for this kill, but Cap's going to die instead.
Nicely
but
done.
without a kit, how are they even going to get this defuse? Necky's the last player to fall, and eSuba with 12. They're so far ahead.
Yeah, the answer is, and was from the very beginning, they're not. And that's very unlucky. I mean, they did put up quite a good fight, and they had some amazing shots in this round, but as it's always pretty much...
This is the team speak, though. We're hearing the team speak.
Okay.
The smoke was bad.
A nie wbidu, a?
Ty, no, jeden na
Eko,
wyżurę.
ty to widz, teraz z polu.
Ja to flashu potom,
Ne,
když
ne,
tam
ne,
budu,
ne,
za vás to hodím, když budu.
Slope silně.
Na tiketu.
Do.
Firebox.
Czekaj,
CT ještě, vpravo.
Splashuj Ja som zapalil, ten som kontentu.
Smoke CT?
A CT, na CT, napravo, jo.
Bermi CT.
Beru jungle.
CT1. Eko pravi,
Investy.
Podle mě
Wow.
Yeah, so you can hear a lot of these callouts right there, and I think we were listening to eSuba right here.
We definitely were.
I
I'm still listening to them.
Smoke
Tak, no,
Ja idem barakom rýchlo, hej?
Smoknij CT.
They're going for onside A again. They're talking about CD smokes right here. And in the previous round, actually,
Běž na blízko k tomu
which is quite funny because they were saying Firebox right off the
Oh,
start.
yeah. Yeah, seeming like a really concentrated eSuba team as well. I think we're still listening to that team speak though.
Jungla neumírá, jungla.
Non-stop right there, but they're just smashing through Playing Ducks right here with Pons sitting on just one single point of health. There's no chance in the world it's going to happen. So 14-4. eSuba actually going for the finisher on this game. Deciding to go for the same kind of strat 2 times in a row pretty much. And also I'm surprised how in the previous round, in this one, on the spawn they said smoke CT right off the bat. But in the previous round they were already running into the bomb site, and only then were they calling out the smoke, which is real risky, but worked out.
It feels like eSuba are playing a really concentrated game. They knew that they were playing against Ecos as well. Now is Playing Ducks main time to shine. Is going to find the 1 kill, and the CTs, oh, they do look like they're crushing this attack as Nucky finds 2 of his own, and the AWP going to rain through as well. Just Occo left, and he's in a 1v5, an impossible one at that. And is he even going to do damage here? I think... Oh, he is! What a snappy headshot on the first, but this is going to give away his position. He's not got any health to work with as well, as Kalinka is going to finish him off.
Way too low at this situation, but yeah, okay, still being able to bring 1 down is good enough, I guess. And this is the Playing Ducks that we wanted to see. In my opinion, it's already way too late. With eSuba sitting at 14, they're going to be able to close out this map at some point, one way or another. But Lucky showing us his offense skills. Nucky also showing up, and I feel like we've not seen Nucky at all throughout this map. And finally, he gets a double kill when they finally get the rifles. And yeah, that's cool to see.
It's a little too late though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a little bit too late though. And the thing is, next time they should rather focus on getting the CT side first. And that's the #1 condition.
Yeah, Kalinka's obviously looking towards underpass, but the smoke's pouring into the A site, and Nucky's going to get very aggressive. He's going to speed up behind this as well instead of falling back. He's got an AK-47 in his hand, and the man advantage, but Playing Ducks don't seem satisfied. They're going for more as eSuba, they still have quite a good default setup around this site. Linka can shut them down. Here he is, looks for the second as well, and there's another headshot. Double for him, and Playing Ducks, they seem to have solidified control on A. eSuba might as well try somewhere else.
It's a bad idea from eSuba right here, and actually going 4 times in a row for pretty much, well, maybe not the same strat because they're trying to diversify it with the grenades and how they approach this bomb site a little bit quicker, a little bit slower. But basically, you're going bomb site A 4 or 5 times in a row. That's just asking for a little bit of a stack right there. And especially with this kind of rush from Nukie, he confirms that there's nobody going to be coming from Palace. Narrows down the angles for the defenders of bomb site A. You only have to have an AWP aiming at the T ramps, but now Barzo and Akko, they're turning it all around.
How is this possible? The bomb's going down as well, and Nucky and Lucky have to get into this side. Lucky with a beautiful headshot, and looking for the second as well. Oku getting aggressive, knows he has to take a duel before the 1v2 comes into play, and Playing Ducks are playing this one very together, very concise, and Oko has found his way around, but he's really caught between a rock and a hard place as Nuki's going to close him in and find the shot. 14-6 for the Playing Ducks side.
So yeah, just coming back to this bomb side A situation, we have Nuki in the Palace. Nobody's going to be coming from there. Only an Opera has to look at the T-ramps. That's enough. There isn't even a smoke, so it would be very easy for him. And the terrorists decide to go into the connector and not even pay so much attention. How calm do you think that nobody will check that connector if they have the T side covered completely?
Yeah, they seem to be playing a very calm and collective game right now as the push coming in again. Looks like another A default for eSuba as the smoke's going to come in, but it's only pistols this time, and I'm sure Playing Ducks are going to find a counter to this there. Molotovs haven't really been on point just yet, but here come the counter flashes as Playing Ducks going to go for the peaks. And you see Cap is fully flashed, taking so much damage before he finds his way on, and he drops. That's the main threat god, the sting taken out of eSuba's tail as the Molotovs, they're starting to fade. Pistols out as Nucky does fall back, stays alive. As Playing Ducks, they need to get back into this site, but eSuba, they have planted the bomb, but this is looking like a powerful retake from the CT side, and nobody drops as Playing Ducks. They actually have a chance at this one now. If we have a look at their economy after this round, I'm sure that they're going to have plenty of money. They're going to have loads to work with, and this is really dangerous because eSuba, who were just like 1 or 2 little rounds, 1 or 2 ecos away from taking it earlier, are a solid 2 gun rounds away from taking anything. And you see, they've got decent money. Ducks have, yes, decent, is 8-4-4. So they've got enough to buy up into the next 1 or 2 rounds. But if eSuba deals some damage, Playing Ducks still aren't going to have everything.
Nuki, what a man. As I said, he was invisible in the first half of this map. I'm quite positive that he finished around like 5 or 6 frags the first half.
Really
and
not
then
good
in the
enough.
second, he's already up to 13, catching up with everybody else. And that quad kill, he was able to survive way too long. And I also feel like in this entire situation, he's made a mistake. So it could have been even more perfect, which is scary because they can still improve what they're doing right now. So it's not actually so confirmed yet that eSuba have got this.
And it's those eco frags, isn't it? Those feel-good frags to actually get the ball rolling. And when you're stuck down on 5, you need the quad kill, even if it is just against pistols, to get your head in the game and to get your crosshair aligned, to make sure that you can hit the shots when eSuba are going to have weapons, which is going to be right now. I'm sure this is a tactical pause. It's the perfect time to do it. I want to allude to SK. Before we get back into this game. SK are a team, just before winning, they will take a tactical pause. And this is what eSuba are doing right now. They have taken a pause to slow it down, to get back into this game and to say, right, what is this one strat we need to do? How are we going to close it out? And it's something that SK do all the time.
Yeah, we'll be getting back into this one shortly, but what I also wanted to say right here is Playing Ducks solidifying themselves completely in here. Some players showing something that we've not seen on the other side completely. And yeah, as you said, these are like 4 eco frags. But in my opinion, it's not so easy to get these eco frags. Just remember the amount of times that the force buys or ecos have been won lately. It just becomes more and more popular that these pistols will overwhelm you, and especially if so many people run out at you at the same time. It's so very likely that you're gonna die. If you're the sole defender of the bomb site, the pressure is all on you. So this is a very important moment because Nuki, yes, a little bit easier. Gets that confidence back for himself, as you said, that crosshair line and stuff like that. And also tells the team that they can rely on him, which this far has not been the case.
And playing Ducks with a lot of utility right now. They're looking pretty strong on the CT side, to be honest. I would like to see them with a couple more Molotovs, though, especially towards, towards both sides, actually. Not so much towards mid. I don't think that they're as powerful there, but definitely in the choke points to funnel eSuba through. And there's Lucky with the initial pick. Lovely. And he's able to back off to another corner as well. And this is something that playing Ducks needs. They need the ult presence that eSuba. We've seen it from them left, right and centre, and it's capped this time with the AWP, and he will be facing off against playing Ducks, trying to go for this pick. However, we need to see what Lucky can do here. He's just dodging, trying to pick into window, pick up towards Palace as well. Doesn't have the information as to where eSuba are going, and that means he's very scatty.
Yeah, but right now the timing is just going to be so important. Kalinka, he won't take a look at that Palace. Okay, the fight. That's the Orper just falling back a little bit, but Kalinka actually getting the bomb right there. Nuki getting the kill on Freddy. Everything collapses for eSuba, but they kind of very
9 seconds. They've barely got any time left as well. Hype is going to find that kill. And Cap, is he even going to stay alive? No. There's the AWP gone. Playing Ducks looking so strong. And another clean round. Nobody losing a single point of health in that one. And it means that playing Ducks are going to solidify this economy further. Everybody on 5k means that they can go for at least 2 buys into this one. And eSuba are going to find it really difficult to close this one out with that economy and money rolling.
And it's so funny because they had Lucky and Pincers right there completely, but he decided to fall back. At the same time, Kalinka decided to go in a little bit further, and they outplayed the Thirst completely.
This B rush though, and Hype needs to shut this down. The spray down comes in. Pound's going to help out. A triple kill, looking for more as well. Blue, there's nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, as the Tech-9 does take one, but with the bomb drop, Hype's going to take a quad kill and obliterates the eco.
Yeah, so there's another person going for this kind of a play. You've got the Hype that you were talking about so much before we started the games. He's now starting to perform real on par. We have Nuki starting to perform on side A. It really shows how much they shine on the CT side, but the question is, how bad can your T side be then?
How can it be? How can it be? I'll just ask Gameplay DNA, they can tell you. They would take a single round on T side nuke earlier, but not to give them too much grief about that one. Playing Ducks are looking really strong on the CT side. We don't want to take anything away from them in this one. They've managed to gain footing, and I don't know why Lucky's not got any. Oh, what was this push? Pound does get caught off, but he does find a bit of damage, a kill as well. But playing Ducks, it leads eSuba to believe that the B site's a little exposed. Needless to say, playing Ducks have 2 people over there. And playing Ducks changing up the pace, taking more and more. Kalinka's going to find one with the AWP as well. As Henki chimes one back, but in a 3 versus 2, eSuba might struggle. As Henki is the next person to drop in with just Occo left. He's going to be the final man to fall. The Tech-9 reigns supreme, and playing Ducks reaches double digits finally.
Yeah, and it's sure that we're starting to see these triple kills and spray downs that finally work out for playing Ducks. And
everyone's stepping up, right? Everyone's stepping up. This is the individual skill that we were talking about earlier.
That's it, but what they've shown in this round is something a little bit different. It's not only about the individual skill, it's also about having a good idea that they're able to execute in good cooperation. And it didn't backfire at all, and I'm worried about Freddy right here. Right now, though, is going to pick them apart one after another.
What is this?
That's going to be awesome. I already saw that quad kill in front of my eyes, but, well, Freddy's going to get a double for himself, which kind of redeems him from the previous round, because right now they're going to try to fall back a little bit, going to slow out the pace. So I'm going to touch on how Freddy in the previous round, when this amazing push from Playing Ducks was happening, he was the one closer to it, yet he didn't even look at the enemy. He got himself killed, and the guy in front of him had to react later on, also losing half of his HP. So Freddy, like, he completely turned off his ears and decided that he's not going to cooperate on that situation with his team.
Well, that's the shakes that you can have at LAN as well, making rookie mistakes that he definitely wouldn't have made online, but here in front of an audience, people that you know watching, a lot of people online obviously watching this one are going to make mistakes like that, but the retake is going to be on the quick. The Molotovs drop as well, and Cappy has to be wary of this as he drops to Lucky Zorp, and the second as well. No, he just misses an inch away, and Freddy stays alive. Is he going to be able to do this? I don't think so, as the smoke comes through as well, and Payne finds the kill. Playing Ducks staying strong again.
But Freddy staying alive so long is also kind of impressive with the AWP shot fired straight at him. He had 12 HP. Anything that grazed him would have killed him already. This is just so good to watch right now. And eSuba actually started to get close to these rounds is even better. Because, yeah, if they were this as good as they are right now, like getting Playing Ducks down to 2 players to 1 player with the bomb planted every single round, probably at some point Playing Ducks would have slipped. And it would have been 15 to 11 or something along these lines.
Yeah.
But since eSuba could not get into the T side at all, it actually gets close, and now there's still a chance for eSuba to close it out. But it also is believable that Playing Ducks can make it back.
And I think it's who's going to come up clutch in the end. We saw Hype playing really well at the start. He obviously got that 1 versus 2 clutch with the Tech-9 on A site, but he's going to have to keep that star performance if they want to win this one. And the push coming in, a crucial round for both teams. eSuba, they made so much ground, and Playing Ducks haven't stopped it yet. With the bomb down, Nucky's got to find something, but he's not taking any shots. He wants to stay silent, as Kalinka does find one of his own. eSuba have great afterplants, and I don't see any way Playing Ducks are going to get back onto this bomb site. Payne has to find his well in, but they're all smoked off in eSuba. They might find a couple of kills here. Kalinka does find the one, but this is already happening, and Playing Ducks, how do they do it? They seem to come up clutch every time. Playing Ducks 12 to 14, and a huge round of applause from our audience.
And we can see how they're laughing on this little camera in our bottom right corner. How the hell did this happen?
They're loving it, look at them.
How did nobody hear that? This is just so big for Playing Ducks right now, and I feel like it was such a big mistake overall made, allowing the terrorists to run to this side, because there was only Henki sitting in the palace, and he was just spraying. It was just a YOLO spray just to try and make the enemies confused. And
see you later, Kalinka.
Yeah, but I'm surprised how it worked out for Henki so well.
Oh, this spray down Payne, 2, this a 3rd, 4th through the smoke, come on, it's just in front of you, and he finds it. A quad kill from Payne, and Playing Ducks might be about to make this comeback happen.
Oh my goodness, this is scary to watch. I mean, I'm having flashback nightmares already, but yeah.
I think we'll watch a flashback right now. This is the flashback that eSuba are going to be seeing in their nightmares tonight. Oh, that was the lightning fast headshot that we saw straight off the round, but Payne, he's about to get a quad kill. Watch this. The first holds down the spray, and see how he conserves bullets in this situation. And he's still got 6 bullets left, and he finally finds it. Not spraying everything into the smoke, staying reserved. And this is the sort of clutch play that we need to see for a comeback to happen.
And this round is opened by Lucky with an AWP shot. Caparzo already eliminated from the map. And why I'm saying that I'm having flashbacks, because every single time I've been casting eSuba's matches on LAN, these guys are able to get like 14 or 13 rounds, and the amazing comebacks against them always work out. I don't know why, but they're not able to close out the matches. And maybe, I mean, it's not yet over, but after this many rounds, the Playing Ducks 1 in a row, it's hard to believe that eSuba still got something. Maybe they just break down. If they don't manage to win a single round after losing like 5 in a row, they just lose their faith and they're not able to act normally.
Trading 1 for 1 in the early portions of this round, and Fred is going to find a crucial kill. This opens up mid for eSuba, gives them the map control. They can decide to go to either of these sites. Looks like it could be A, but the bomb isn't fully committed. Lucky, what was that?
Yeah.
Beautiful little shot. when you just do that, and Henke, he's trying to dodge his way through Palace, try and omit some of the response, take some of the attention off of the bomb pushing from main, and Lucky, he's got a peek out, but this bomb has actually found itself onto the site, and that's due to the distraction from Palace, and Playing Ducks with another difficult retake now. This one might be one stretch too far as eSuba, they've got brilliant after plan positions, and no smokes on the Playing Ducks side also might spell trouble for their CT retake. But Oko overcommitting does find one behind as well. How are Playing Ducks doing it? Might close it out, just blue left, and he drops 2. 14-14 as Playing Ducks closes the gap to 0.
Hanky had the worst timing of his life with his peak. Pavel was actually mid-air, was looking at the Palace, and Hanky was not prepared to track an enemy down as he was falling from the stairs. While, of course, is the guy who was aimed straight into the Palace was prepared for a man popping up right there. That was an easy kill, and that changed everything. Because had Hanky survived, even without getting a kill, a 2v3 would have allowed them to still fight until the bomb would have exploded.
Oh, Lucky does find a decent leg onto Hanky, but most importantly doesn't drop him, as eSuba did take mid, but now they're retracting back. Maybe they want to go for a B push, and this is possibly what I would suggest right now, since there are 3 players from Playing Ducks here. This could be dangerous, as eSuba, I would like to see them change up this tactic, but Playing Ducks seem to be reading this T side like a book right now. I wonder how many rounds eSuba have taken this half. I think it's 2. It's barely anything. 2 or 3. Really not enough. Is 3 as Cap. That's a beautiful shot. So showing some stream highlights. However, eSuba, they have taken mid fully, but this bomb surely is about to go into B.
That most probably is what it's going to be, but with the middle control, could be quite good or could be quite bad. I mean, on the CT side, they control the middle perfectly. Caparzo was even able to get a triple kill out there or something like that. And there he goes for a second, and he also misses the shot of Lucky. That's a big mistake. Manages to reply on that, of course, instantly. Lucky does not make mistakes like these, but Caparzo finally corrects that. Right after, and back to the 2-1. Well, 1-on-3 it is going to be. Kalinka all alone. And maybe finally eSuba will be getting around for themselves right here. But at such clutch moment, they could not have gotten a better timing. Caparzo was spotted out by Kalinka, but doesn't help him as Oko was perfectly prepared.
What a highlight round for Cappy, coming up trumps in the top position. You see the audience is liking it as well. What a triple kill, just jumping into mid on the offset, close range angle into B, and finishes off the round by opening up and closing off the B side. Cappy, that round was all about him and secures eSuba at least overtime, but they've got to do a little more if they want to close out this match. And right now, they don't seem to have the mental fortitude to do it, but they're just 5 kills away, 1 round away to do this, and Cappy might even find it again. It's all Cappy right now. Takes a shot through short as well, as Henky G finds hype, and Playing Ducks need to close out this 3v5, otherwise it's going to be all said and done. Nucky finds one of his own, but eSuba, they need to just slow down and play this one passive. Kalinka is the next to fall. Connector open now is eSuba. Surely this is going to be 16. Finally closing it out. Playing Ducks just missing off the end. It's Nucky in a 1 versus 4, and wouldn't this be legendary if he can make it work? But he's a million miles from it. And blue round this corner is going to find the headshot. eSuba come up top. It looked dangerous, but they clutch it through in the end.
And without Freddy, Arco this time, when the push through B happens, is able to deal with it without any casualties. And this is just amazing how Caparzo got the kill in the middle. Overall, Caparzo over the last 2 rounds was godlike, and that just shows you how very little you need after getting like 11 rounds in the first half to close out the matchup. Even after an amazing of a comeback from Playing Ducks, they were just simply non-existent on the T side, unfortunately, and that's what forced them to lose. And may I remind you, at least 2 out of these forced rounds that they got on T side was by a stroke of luck, by a chance, might not have completely happened.
eSuba are going to have to buy Cappy a round of drinks after this match because he single-handedly closed it out. Everybody else on the eSuba side seemed very lackluster when it got to the 14th round, the 15th round, and it was Cappy opening up the mid-area with the AWP, which really actually caught Playing Ducks off guard.
And that's the opera that we were talking about. He was performing in the very beginning of the match, and then he was non-existent, and then came back right at the end. So he like started and finished the job, and of course he's got to get his highlights, as you said.
He's got to get them stream clips. He's got to get them follows, hasn't he?
It's not only his kind of personality, but also shows in game as his character and in Counter-Strike itself. So yeah, we'll be looking at the replays, and we've got some amazing ones from this one.
Yeah, I think it's mainly Cappy on the T side, to be honest. I think that he was the only person who killed anybody on the T side of eSuba. But Playing Ducks, they had individual plays all across the board, and we're starting to see it. Let's see. This was Blue's flick here as he very alert on the main stage. It can be easy to be disorientated by the lights, by the camera action, but eSuba definitely weren't phased when it came to their CT side. You could say the same about Playing Ducks as well, but perhaps not so much as... What was this play then? I think, was this just Occo? I think they were seeing a more wide range of clips. But who do you reckon the main person on Playing Ducks' side was to maybe bring that comeback into the realms of possibility?
Bring the comeback? I feel like it was Nukia. Occo with this amazing play, but it's just the first half that was dominated by eSuba, and as I said, it was so stupid not to check that by Playing Ducks. The triple kill in the middle, that was unbelievable with the USP. All these situations were amazing, but the comeback when it started in the second half, excuse me, I think was Nukia. Basically him gaining control of the Palace at first.
Oh, this was beautiful. This was beautiful. Sorry to interrupt, but Kalinka, this is a lovely triple kill, which really spelled trouble for eSuba. It could have been an ace, though, couldn't it? It was so lush. And here's the individual plays by Playing Ducks showing. It's Pound this time with the quad kill of his. And this is what really brought the comebacks. I think that we set this match up really well. We had tons of time to set it up, didn't we? We had about 45 minutes to talk about it, but we were talking about the individual plays, and Playing Ducks definitely didn't fail to disappoint.
Yeah, and talking about Nukia, like, he wasn't consistently the player that made it possible for his team to make the comeback, but he's who started it, who ignited the flame. Without him, there wouldn't be the 2 first rounds that they got on the CT side, and there always is that possibility. Just one single round, had eSuba squeezed it in, the match would have been over so much earlier.
Getting the ball rolling is the hardest thing, especially on that CT side when you haven't got economy on your side, when you haven't got the money rolling and you don't have the kills going your way. It can be really difficult to actually get your footing.
Yeah, that's definitely the thing. And now one of eSuba's players will also elaborate on that a little bit with Nikita, who's waiting for his interview.
Thank you very much. I'm like super pumped after that match. I really didn't expect it, and then the comeback and then the finish from eSuba. I'm here with Henki G. I mean, you were just telling me how your teammates are. Like, you guys must have been so stressed on stage.
Yeah, we were so stressed. I mean, where we were winning, we were okay, but when we started to lose, we started to stress more and more, and it was like horrible.
How do you deal with that? I mean, like, you had such a lead, 2 wins, they need 10, and then suddenly you're losing and it keeps happening, you're not breaking. How do you deal with that? Like, it was something I asked previously and they said, you know, they just need to calm down. What about you guys? How do you handle that sort of when you keep repeatedly losing one round after another?
I mean, for me it was okay because I knew that if they don't have 16 points, we can still win. And I was still saying to my teammates that they should chill because we will win it. And there are still people, so they can lose, they can win, but we are better and we should win.
So just like one round at a time, it doesn't matter how many you lose, so long as you win 2. All right, well, that's great. So in game, who was shot calling?
It was Caparzo, but where we started to lose, I started to calling 2 because I was seeing things, what is happening on the map, that they have 2 AVPs and we should go A and maybe smoke. So yeah, it was mainly Caparzo, but I started to calling 2 with Freddy.
All right. Well, I mean, great job. It's really, like, it's so tough, I know, coming back from those. So who on the other team was giving you the biggest trouble?
from this tournament. Yeah, I say that the Plain Ducks are the the best team here. So I was only I was not scared. But I knew that they are the best team probably here because they had like good results. They beat Space Soldiers, for example. So it was the best team here for us.
And what about in this match? Which player did you think on playing Ducks was really hard, who was playing like really well?
I mean, I wasn't looking at it. I was only looking on my teammates because, I mean, at the end, it doesn't matter who played the best. It's team, so it's a team game.
I mean, it's a great attitude to have. So you guys won. Congratulations. You've got next match coming up. How do you feel about that?
I mean, we won first, so we are much more confident than we were before. We knew how to play, not stressed. So yeah.
And so you were telling me, I think, on stage that you Slovakian? Yeah, you're Slovakian, but you guys are talking in Czech. So when it gets so stressful like that, do you want to go back to Slovakian, or are you very comfortable with Czech?
No, I mean it's like the same. We are the same scene.
Okay.
Like we are Czech and Slovakia together. We are playing together tournaments and everything. So it's not like separately, but together. So it doesn't matter.
So when you're swearing and freaking out, it's okay. What about the trash talk? Was there a lot of trash talk?
Yeah, I was trash talking a lot. I was trash talking a lot. Everyone was, I think. So because we feel more confident, and yeah, it's not like we hate them, but it's making us like mentally better.
It also makes it a bit more fun. You want to like get it amped up. Look, great game, great performance, and good luck with the next one.
Thank you.
Well, that was an excellent game, really heartbeat, like stopping one. So we'll be taking a 5-minute break to kind of reset, chill out, and then we'll be back with the next match. Thanks.